Hello everyone, ARG back for some more hockey action with Franchise Hockey Manager 8, and today we are going to play only 1 month because I am really crunched by time. So there's only going to be time to do the month of November. In the first month of the season in October, we did okay. We looked alright. We weren't world beaters, but we had a respectable 7-5-1 record. That's good for third in the conference. Sadly, the Flames are pretty much unbeatable this year. They already have 24 points in 13 games, so that basically means a 12-1 record. So, yeah, they are going to be the team to beat this year. We have no injuries, so hey, that's something to talk about. And yeah, so thankfully, guys like Mogilny and Gusarov have helped, so hopefully that continues to be the case. I'm not expecting for Gusarov to be like a huge offensive contributor. He still has 5 points in 13 games. That's not too shabby. And of course, I'm counting a little bit more on Mogilny, who has 11 points in 13 games, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We have a couple players that are not quite there yet. Oh, Sylvain Couturier is now a star-and-a-half player. Wow. Look at that. Somebody's been juicing. So all of a sudden, Sylvain Couturier is a star-and-a-half. He was a half-star player last month, so, that's good. Frank Bro is still a 1-0. Okay. Yeah, he's a alpha star, and I had recalled him because his potential was more than that. Let's take a look. It looks like we have some players that have changed their fortunes. Yeah, that's not really the case for anybody else, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and keep Bro there, and we'll deal with that. Alright, so, well, let's get going. I did say I'm kind of crunched by time. I have to cook dinner, and then I have to work some overtime while I'm watching the Sens play in Florida tonight, so yeah. Alright, so the player that I thought had the funniest name when I was a kid is out for 4 months with a torn eye muscle, and that would be Peter Zezel. That Zezel connotation in French doesn't really mean anything, but it's kind of just a funny sounding word. So, I was young and I thought it was a funny name. That's all. Bruce McNally is very happy with my work. Wow, okay. The good old crack of Ellie at work again. Alright, so we're starting the month with 2 away games, and then we're gonna have 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games, and then we're gonna hit the road again. So we're in Washington tonight. That's our first meeting against the Caps. They are 5-6-3 this season. Let's see how our friend Bernie Nichols is doing. Alright, so the Capitals have 2 players that are suspended, Larry Murphy and Rod Langway, so 2 defensemen short there in Washington. In net they have Clint Malarchuk and Andy Moog. Then on D they have Rod Langway, Grant Ledyard, Scott Stevens, Peter Taglianetti, Igor Ulanov, Kevin Hatcher, Larry Murphy, Shel Sam Wilson, and David Shaw. Up front they have Brent Ashton, Mike Miller, yes. Which Miller is that? Kelly Miller, Jeff Sanderson, Dale Hunter, Bernie Nichols, Kelly Buckberger, Dave Christian, Danton Cole, Gustafson Leach, and Mellon Bay. Bernie Nichols is still a 4.5 star player. He had 91 points in 80 games last season, and he has 21 in 14. We all knew that Bernie Nichols was a really good player. I didn't trade him away because he sucked. I traded him away because of the challenge. And I tried to recoup what I could in terms of talent in exchange for him. Alright, let's play the Caps. We're going to have Artus Irby in net, and we're going to be facing Clint Malarchuk. Go Kings! I think I said it too late. It didn't came in. I said it after I clicked the sim game, and, you know, we lost 6-2. That's a terrible game. Actually, Artus Irby got pulled in that one even. Alright, so shots were 36 apiece, so nobody was on top in that regard. Bernie Nichols was the first star against his former team. He had a goal and 2 assists. Brent Ashton was the second star with a goal and an assist, and Scott Mellenby was the third star with 2 goals. Alright, so the Caps scored twice in the first period, then Randy Wood scored from Gerald Deduck, made it 2-1, and then the Caps scored again. It was 3-1 Washington after 1. Then nobody scored in the second period. In the third period, the Caps scored twice, made it 5-1. Then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Gary Galley and Luc Robitaille. It was 5-2, but Washington added one more, and that's a 6-2 loss. And there weren't a single fight in this game. Wow. Right, so Don McSween is on waivers, and so is Guy Gosselin. I could claim Guy Gosselin, but I will not. Alright, so the Red Wings are looking to move Glenn Hanlon, 2-star goaltender. We are rumored to be going after him. We could. I won't, but we could. Alright, one day off before we play in Chicago against the Hawks. Alright, so Jay Caulfield is on waivers, so is Kevin McGuire and John Bloom. Great night for Calle Johansson playing with the Buffalo Sabres. He had a goal and 4 assists against Boston. That's pretty good for my friend Calle Johansson. Of course, I had acquired him in my Sens playthrough. And he was pretty good for me for a little bit. Actually, for a little bit, he was almost the only decent defenseman I had. Alright, we are now playing in Chicago against the Hawks. They are 5-9-1. That's good for 7th in the conference. We have not played the Hawks yet. Let's take a look at what they have. Alright, well, Doug Wilson is hurt and he's not going to play. Alright, and then in net they have Ed Belfour and Vincent Riendo. Mike Laylor, Dave Manson, Gary Nylund, Carl Dykhouse, Chris Dahlquist, Adam Foote, Randy Hillier, and Trent Yanni on D. Up front they have Mike Eagles, Doug Evans, that's what I thought, wasn't sure. Dirk Graham, McKinnis, Everett, Sanipass, Steve Thomas, Mike Hudson, Murray, Roenick, Savard, Jensen, Larmer, and Presley. Alright, let's see if we can beat the Hawks after losing badly to the Caps. Come on, Wayne, I need a stronger game from you. Artus Irby gets the nod yet again in net for us. He's going to be facing Vincent Riendo. And we lost 5-2. I forgot to say go Kings go again. See? It's all my fault. Right, we were outshot 40-30 in that one. Jeremy Roenick was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Trent Yanni was the second star with 2 goals. And Dave Manson was the third star with an assist. Alright, Chicago opened up the scoring in the first. It was 1-0 Chicago at that point. Then they added another goal at the start of the second period. 2-0 Chicago at that point. Then Wayne Gretzky scored from Luc Robitaille and Mike Gartner, made it 2-1. And then Mike Gartner scored unassisted. It was tied at 2 after 2. It looked pretty promising. But the Hawks scored 3 unanswered goals in the third period, including an empty netter. And that was a 5-2 loss. And for a second game in a row, we didn't fight. What is going on? Mitch Lamoureux has been put on waivers by the Flames, and so did Serge Roberge, put on waivers by the Montreal Canadiens. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal against Chicago, although we did lose. Pelle Eklund extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against Toronto. Alright, we have, I think, 3 days off. So that gives us some time to regroup here. We're kind of on a slid here. Peter Lappin has been put on waivers by the Flames. Pat LaFontaine has a great game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Toronto. Big game for Al McInnes. He had 4 assists against Pittsburgh. Memorable game for Joe Mullen. 4 goals in that same game. That's pretty good. A night to remember for Adam Oates in Detroit. I don't know why they gave it news for that. A goal and 7 assists. That's not very impressive. Against Vancouver in a 10-6 victory. Wow. 8 points. Even Wayne doesn't give me performances like that. I'm gonna trade Wayne for Adam Oates. I could. Pelle Eklund's assist streak ended at 8 games. He was scoreless against the Jets. Right, 1 more day off. And Kevin Maguire has been put on waivers yet again. David Volek is hurt with the Islanders. He has a ruptured bicep tendon. He's going to be out for 6 months. See you pretty much next year, David Volek. Alright, and now we're going to be hosting the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings are 6-8-2. That's good for 6th in the conference. We have not played the Wings yet. Did they sign Sergei Fedorov yet? I don't see Fedorov on the Red Wings. Alright. Oh, let's take a look here. Alright, nobody hurt. They do have Sean Burr that's suspended, so he's not going to be playing. In net, they have Tim Chivalde and Doug Keynes. On D, they have Murray Barron, Paul Cavallini, Steve Chiasson, Ken Sabran. Oh God, was it Brandon Schlegel? Brad Schlegel. Weimer, Zumbo, Burr, Gallant, Klima, Probert, Shabbat, Freiser, Contos, Adam Oates, Steve Eiserman, Dave Barr, Kosher, Paul McLean, and Joe Murphy. Alright. Come on, Kings. We need a bounce back game here. Come on, Wayne. Show me what you can do. Tim Chivalde is in net for Detroit. We're going to go back to Artus Airby, even though he struggled so far in November. Go Kings! See, I remember this time. Let's see if that makes a difference. It's magical. We won 7-3. A little bit disappointed. Wayne is not going to have an 8-point game. We only scored 7 goals. A little bit disappointed with that, I have to admit. We outshot Detroit 36-29. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Alexander McGillney was the second star with 2 goals, and Mike Ridley was the third star with a goal and an assist. Sellout crowd in LA again. 15,604 is the max. Again, I'm not sure why it would have less seats. Maybe JT Dutch can enlighten me on that whenever he catches up with this part of my series. If there's somebody that knows a lot about hockey in general, that would be him, but even more so the Kings, I would think. So maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. But yeah, there were more seats back in the first couple years, and now there's less, and I don't know why. Anyway, Randy Wood opened up the scoring for us in the first period from Mike Gartner and Alexei Gusarov. Then Alexander Mogilny scored from Gary Galley and Scott Arneal. It was a 2-0 lead at that point. And the Red Wings scored. It was 2-1 after 1. Then the Wings took a 3-2 lead in the second period. It didn't look too good for us. Then Mike Gartner tied the game from Luc Robitaille and Wayne Gretzky. We had a 3-3 game after 2. There was a fight between Alexei Gusarov and Steve Chiasson. Then we scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period. Alexander Mogilny scored his 5th from Mike Ridley and Randy Wood. Then Mike Ridley from Ken Baumgartner and Rick Green. Mike Gartner from Luc Robitaille and Wayne Gretzky. And then finally Ron Duguay from Randy Ledouceur and Dan Gratton. 7-3 for the Kings. And that's the final score. Alright, finally a W, but we had to go back home to get it. Right, Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 13 games. That was 2 assists. Adam Oates extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal against us. Suspension over for Sean Burr. And then Chris Joseph in Edmonton got hurt. He's going to miss 8 months. See you next season, Chris Joseph. Ruptured MCL. Ouch. Right, we have a day off, and then we're going to be hosting the Edmonton Orders. Right, Don McSween is on waivers, and so is Wayne Van Dorp. Winnipeg is shopping Doug Smale. Don't shop him yet. The Sens are going to claim him in the expansion draft. So Doug Smale is a 2-star winger playing in Winnipeg. Alright, we are now going to host the Edmonton Orders. Orders are now 4-9-1, and they are 9th in the conference. We are 1-0 against Edmonton. It was a 3-0 win back. It was at home, but back when we played them earlier this season. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm sorry, you probably can hear the vacuum in the back end of my microphone, I guess. So we have that going on right now. Alright, Bill Ranford is going to be in net for the Orders. We are going to go with Artus Irbe yet again. Go Kings! 5-5 tie. I don't know how I feel about it. Usually I need to see the shot on goals to see how I feel about it. But it's at home. Usually at home I want to win. Yeah, we outshot Edmonton 38-32. I would have liked a W here for sure. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Mark Messier was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Wayne Gretzky was the third star with 2 assists. Sellout crowd yet again here in Inglewood. Gord Doneen opened up the scoring in the first from Mike Gartner and Wayne Gretzky. Then Ray Shepard scored his 5th unassisted. And then finally Scott Arneal scored short-handed from Randy Wood and Rick Green. It was a 3-0 lead for the Kings after 1. Then we had a fight between Gerald Deduck and Steve Smith. Then in the second period, the Oilers scored twice. It was 3-2. Then Sylvain Couturier scored from Mike Gartner and Alexei Gusarov. It was 4-2 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Oilers scored 3 straight goals. They were leading 5-4, but with 1:13 left to go in the third period, Ray Shepard tied the game from Mike Gartner and Wayne Gretzky. It was 5-5. There was a fight between Gerald Deduck and Basil McRae. And then, of course, nobody scored in overtime. So we have a 5-5 tie here against the Oilers. And, of course, Scott Arneal is hurt. So we have an injury here. Let's see how long it is for. Day to day. All right, we're good. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 14 games with 2 assists in that game. A night to remember for Stéphane Guichet playing in Montreal. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Devils. Suspension over for Paul Ranheim in Calgary, back in the lineup. Mark Vermette set everything up tonight for the Nordiques. He had 4 assists against the Flyers. Mike Bullard has a strong game for St. Louis. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Red Wings. Dynamic passing leads to productive night for Gaston Gingras in that same game. He had 4 assists. In that same game still, Brettall had 3 goals and an assist. Adam Oates extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist in that same game against the Blues. There was no stopping Jeremy Roenick. He had 3 goals and an assist against Toronto. Dave Andreychuk got to 600 points in his career with an assist against Washington. Dave Andreychuk is 27 and he is a 4-star player. And Rod Langway is back from suspension in Washington. Alright, we have 3 days off, and then we're going to be playing against the Buffalo Sabres. Good game for Craig Janney. He had 3 goals and an assist against Washington. Craig Janney playing for Boston. Oh, there's been a trade between the Capitals and the Rangers. So the Rangers are getting Rod Langway and Tom-Erik Olsen in exchange for rookie Donald Udet and the rights to Andre Burtz. So, how is Udet rated? Oh, he's only a 2-star potential. Okay. And so Rod Langway is now with the Rangers. Right, a couple more days off here. Alright, nothing happened during those 2 days, and now we are hosting the Sabres. So Buffalo is in town. They have a 10-7 record, so that's not bad. Let's take a look at the Sabres. So they have an injury. Phil Housley is hurt. He's not going to play. Mark Abscheid is also hurt and not going to play. And Garth Butcher is hurt, but he should be able to play. So in net, the Sabres have Tom Barrasso and Olaf Kolzig. On D, they have Phil Housley, Kelly Johansson, Mike Ramsey, Mark Ferner, Sean Anderson, Garth Butcher, and Yuri Krupp. Up front, they have John Anderson, Mikael Anderson, Dave Andreychuk, Henry, Lindy Ruff, Carpenter, Creighton, Rutu Tucker, Pierre Turgeon, Mike Foligno, Mark Abscheid, Priestley, and Dave Taylor, of course, that I traded there, which brought some tears to JT Dutch's eyes because I traded King's legend himself, Mr. King incarnated, I guess, Dave Taylor. I couldn't keep him, man. I had to. Alright, Buffalo in town against us. Alright, we need a W. We haven't been playing all that well this month. Tom Barrasso is gonna be in net for us, and we are going. Tom Barrasso is gonna be in net for Buffalo, and we are going to send Arthur's Irby in net. I was distracted. Another tie, 2-2. Well, technically, Buffalo was a better team than us. They also outshot us, so I guess we'll take it. So Buffalo outshot us 40-32 in that one. Jeff Smith was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Christian Ruutu was the second star with 2 assists, and Gord Deneen was the third star with an assist. Set out crowd yet again in Inglewood. Jeff Smith opened up the scoring in the first from Wayne Gretzky. Then Luc Robitaille scored shorthanded from Gord Deneen and Jeff Smith. 2-0 Kings after 1. We also had a fight between Gerald Deduck and Bob Carpenter. Then in the second period, the Sabres scored. It was 2-1 for us. And then Mikael Anderson tied the game fairly late in the third period. That went to overtime. Of course, nobody scored. So we have yet again a 2-2 tie. And Gord Deneen is hurt. Alright, so we're going to need to see what's going on here. 1 to 2 weeks, so I guess we're going to put him on the injured reserve and recall Wayne McBean. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 15 games with his assist in that game. Mark Messier has racked up 900 points in his career. He had a goal against the Vancouver Canucks. Larry Murphy's suspension ended. He's back in the lineup in Washington. Scott Arniel already ready to come back. All right. So, Gordonine, you are going to the injured list. And I'm getting Wayne McBean up. He's at 10 in a few different things, so he's capable without being great. Alright, so we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. John Roenick has recorded 400 goals in his career. He had a goal and an assist against the Minnesota North Stars. John Roenick is 31, and he's a 3-star player. Scott Arniel about to be back in the lineup. Russ McKay has been put on waivers by the Capitals. He's a half-star goaltender. Pat LaFontaine extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Vancouver Canucks. That was also 12 straight games with a point for him. Scott Arniel almost 100%. And Boston is shopping Bob Sweeney. Alright, Pittsburgh is in town. Pittsburgh is kind of struggling. I guess it's a little tougher without Jaromir Jagr. They are 6-12-1 this season. Let's take a look at their lineup here. So they have an injury. It is Paul Coffey Opa. One of my favorites is hurt. Not going to be able to play. In net, they have Don Beaupre and Jarmo Millis. Coffey, Charlie Addy, Richie Lanz, Lubomir Sekirach, Zardy Zalewski, Dob Bodger, and Dean Kennedy on D. Randy Cunnywart, Bob Airy, Troy Loney, Kevin Stevens, Dave Annan, Mario Lemieux, Jim Neal, Dan Quinn, John Cullen, Johnston, Ludwig, Parker, Recchi, and Bork up front. We don't hear that much about Mario Lemieux. Oh, he was hurt last year, I guess. He had 49 points in 48 games, and he has 9 in 12 this year. Wow. Well, I hope he doesn't wake up against us. Come on, Kings. Let's go. Don Beaupre in net for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Arthur Serby in net for us again. Go, Kings, go. Come on. Yeah. See, I need to put a little bit more emotion in it. We won 4-3. There you go. 4-3 victory over the Penguins. We were outshot 30-29 in that one. Mike Ridley was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Mark Recchi was the second star with 3 assists, and Ray Shepard was the third star with 2 goals. Set out crowd yet again here in Inglewood. Pittsburgh scored twice in the first period. It was 2-0 Pittsburgh here after 1. Then we scored 3 unanswered goals in the second period. Ray Shepard scored from Randy Wood and Mike Ridley. Then Ray Shepard again from Gary Galley and Mike Ridley. Then Sylvain Couturier scored from Alexander McGillney and Ken Baumgartner. 3-2 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Penguins tied the game, and then Mike Gartner scored from Luc Robitaille and Wayne Gretzky. That was the game winner. We won 4-3. There was a fight between Ken Baumgartner and Kevin Stevens near the end of the game. But the damage was already done. It's a 4-3 victory for the Kings. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 16 games with his assist in that game. Memorable game for Danton Cole with Washington. He had a hat-trick against Hartford. Strong night for Jeremy Roenick. He had a hat-trick against the Quebec Nordiques. Memorable night for Anton Stastny in that same game. He had a hat-trick as well. And Scott Arniel is completely recovered. And now we have 2 days off, and then we're going to be hosting the New Jersey Devils. Pat LaFontaine extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and 3 assists against the Orders, and that was 13 straight games with a point for him. Alright, one more day off. Strong game for Dave Gagner, who had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the New York Rangers. Alright, and now we're about to host the Devils. Devils are 7-11-4. We have not played the Devils yet. Couple injuries in New Jersey. Ken Daneyko is not going to be able to play, and neither is David Bruce. Sean Burke and Chris Terry in net for the Devils. Bruce Driver, Ken Hammond, Tom Curvers, Sylvain Lefebvre, Craig Wallanen, Ken Daneyko, Lyle O'Deline, and there Veitch on D. Up front, it's Aaron Broden, Yvon Kogivo, Johnson, Molly, Shannon, Carlson, Guy Lafleur, Claude Loisel, Kirk Muller, Patrick Sundstrom, Bruce McLean, and Pat Verbeek. Sean Burke in net for New Jersey. We are going with Arthur Sierbe. Go Kings! Oh, whew, I threw it in there just in time, and we won 5-3. Almost didn't work. At 5-3 victory. We were outshot again, but that doesn't really surprise me. My D is not very good. So we were outshot 37-31. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Kirk Muller was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Ray Shepard was the third star with 2 assists. Sellout crowd yet again. Mike Gartner scored his 10th of the season on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Ray Shepard. Then Gary Galley scored on the power play from Dan Gratton and Randy Wood. It was 2-0 Kings at that point, and then the Devils scored 2-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, Mike Ridley scored from Gerald Deduck and Ray Shepard. Then the Devils scored twice. It was tied at 3. And then Scott Arniel scored from Alexander McGillney and Sylvain Couturier. It was 4-3 for the Kings after 2. And then we added a goal in the third period. Rick Green scored from Wayne Gretzky. It was 5-3. And we had a fight between Scott Arniel and Ken Hammond. And we have a nice little 5-3 victory there. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 17 games with 2 assists in that game, and Randy Ladouceur converts to right defense. Alright, so we are about to hit the road here, and it starts in 2 days in Calgary against the near unbeatable Flames. They still have a ridiculously good record right now. I'm a little scared. Ooh, Brian Leach is hurt. He's gonna miss 3 weeks with a strained Achilles. Jeremy Roenick extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Canucks. Oh, Ron Francis fell down some stairs and he's out of commission for up to a month and a half. That's gonna hurt the Waiters. Alright. So some players getting hurt. Some decent players getting hurt now. Ron Francis, Brian Leach, Gordonine. Yeah. All right, so we are in Calgary to play the Flames. They are 19-3-1. Of course, they are at top of the conference. It's not even close. Yeah, we are 0-1 against the Flames this season. So, yeah, go Kings, right? Arthur Serby in net for us. Rick Wamsley in net for the Flames. Go Kings! Come on, we need a strong showing on the road here. Oh yeah, 7-3 win against the top team in the division. We made it look easy. We outshot the Flames 37-28. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Wayne Gretzky was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Luc Robitaille was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Flames scored first in the first period. Then Ron Duguay scored from Randy Wood and Alexei Gusarov. It was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Mike Gartner scored from Wayne Gretzky and Luc Robitaille. Then the Flames tied. And then Ray Shepard scored on the power play from Mike Gartner. It was 3-2 Kings after 2. There was a fight between Paul Ranheim and Randy Ladouceur. Then in the third period, Wayne Gretzky scored his 15th from Luc Robitaille and Jeff Smith. Then Luc Robitaille scored from Randy Wood and Gary Galley. 5-2 for the Kings. Then the Flames scored, made it 5-3, and then we scored 2 more. Scott Arniel scored his 5th unassisted, and then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Mike Gartner. 7-3 the victory. All right. That's good. That's good. That's very good. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 18 games, 2 goals and an assist in that game against the Flames. Pat LaFontaine extends his point streak to 14 games with an assist against the Jets. League says no suspension for Joe Murphy in Detroit, not suspended. However, Dean Kennedy of the Pittsburgh Penguins is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. And Thomas Sandstrom has been put on the trading block. And for, accuracy value, I would totally trade for him, but I cannot go and get him, sadly. So we're not going to see him in the finals against Patrick Roy and Indius the Wink. Hey, JT Dutch, live and alive here. It has been a while since I've seen you drop in. All right. So how have you been? Oh, you're finally caught up. Well, you're not that caught up because I asked you a question earlier before you logged in, and I was like, whenever he catches up, he might be able to answer. Basically, I'm wondering why the max attendance at the forum in the Kings is lower this year than it was in the previous few years. Was there did they mess up the arena back in 1990 or something like that? Yeah, I'm feeling better. I have some antibiotics and everything. I actually went to work today. I worked from home yesterday. I went to work today, so I'm feeling better, I guess. Yeah. All right, so we have a stop in Montreal to play against the Habs. Montreal is 13-10. That's not too terrible of a record. Let's take a look at their lineup. First time we're facing them here. So they have Doug Brown and Chris Chelios that are hurt, not gonna play here. And Eric Desjardins is, I guess, gonna be a game time decision. Oh, yeah, I guess that could be. I thought it was just like the arena being accurate with real life, but you're right, it could be my finances. Just throw money at the problem, right? Oh, there you go. Let's make all the problems go away. Alright, so Montreal in net are going to have Brian Hayward and Patrick Roy. Brian Hayward does not sell as many jerseys anymore. I don't know what's going on, but for a while he was top 5 in the league in jerseys sold. Alright, then on D, Montreal has Yerky Lume, Larry Robinson, Peter Svoboda, Daryl Sidor, Eric Desjardins, Keith Brown. Then up front they have Anderson, Corson, McPhee, Mats Naslund, Joseph Beranek, Guy Carbonneau, Scrudland, Smith, Thibodeau, Wilson, Claude Lemieux, The Biter, Stéphane Richer, Caulfield, McGuire, and Mike Keane. Let's see if we can beat the Habs. Arthur Searby still in net for the Kings. He's taken over as my number 1. So we have a good old Arthur Searby and his brown pads in net. Patrick Roy is going to be in net for Montreal. Go Kings! Oh, I like that. Double digits goals against the Montreal Canadiens. I love this. I love this. Yeah, Chelios is hurt. I checked before the game. He was hurt, so he was not playing that game. Alright, so we trounced the Habs 10-1. Everybody knowing me knows that it makes me really happy, of course. We outshot Montreal 49-26. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Wayne Gretzky, second star with a goal and 4 assists. And Gary Galley was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Alright, Jeff Smith opened up the scoring in the first from Scott Arniel and Alexander McGillney. Then Luc Robitaille scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Sylvain Couturier. 2-0 Kings after 1. Yeah, I know, right? Wrong team, wrong year, but yeah, I know. It's beautiful. That's my first... That's my first double-digit goal this season for sure. I haven't had that many of them since I started. Alright, in the second period, Montreal scored, made it 2-1. They still had hopes, but then we scored 4 straight goals. Gary Galley scored unassisted. Then Luc Robitaille scored his 10th of the season from Alexander Mogilny and Dan Gratton. Then Robitaille again, completing his hat-trick from Wayne Gretzky and Mike Gartner. And then Mike Gartner from Sylvain Couturier and Wayne Gretzky. 6-1 Kings after 2. Then we added 4 more in the third period, because why not make Habs fans miserable in their own arena. Wayne Gretzky scored from Luc Robitaille and Rick Green. Sylvain Couturier scored his 5th from Andrew Castles and Gary Galley. Ray Shepherd scored his 10th on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Gary Galley. And then Jeff Smith from Randy Wood and Rick Green. 10-1 the final score. I'm surprised that with a score like that, I'm surprised that there was no fighting. You haven't allowed double digits? That's because you've never played as the 1992-1993 Ottawa Senators, sir. That probably would be why. Oh, I didn't check. I guess we can go back and check. Sure did. He allowed all 10 goals. Alright, dynamic passing leads to productive night for Wayne Gretzky. A goal and 4 assists against the Habs. It was beautiful. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 19 games. And Robitaille 3 goals and an assist, as we saw. Jeremy Roenick extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and an assist against Calgary. Pat LaFontaine's point streak ended at 14 games. It was held scoreless against the Rangers. Good game for Paul Coffey. I guess he's back in the lineup. He didn't play against us a few games ago. He had 4 assists against the Capitals, and Yari Curry extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals against Toronto. I know the complete disrespect to Patrick Roy, right? So Montreal announced today that they have 3 women on their list for the new GM job in Montreal. Yeah, I'm a Padiquet Candom Paiming. I love Paul Coffey, but I can't even get Gary Suter, so imagine trying to get Paul Coffey. I would probably have to trade Wayne Gretzky and a first to get him or something. So how are your jerseys looking along? Did you put them in the game and everything yet, or? Alright, we're now in Quebec City to play against the Nordiques. Nordiques are starting to trend a little bit more upward than they used to. They still have a losing record, but it's not as dire as it used to be. They are 10, 13, and 2. We have not played them, so of course it means we're going to look at them. So, oh yeah, that's true. They have Michel Goulet that's hurt for a while, and then Charlie Simmer is hurt as well. I'm not a fan of the, if you're talking like current 2021 Jets jersey, I'm not a huge fan either. I love their older jersey with, you know, the actual, with the jet on it and everything. I mean, the one now has a jet, but I like the old one better. Alright, the Nordiques have Daniel Berthiaume and... Oh! I was not even notified that Oh no, I did. Sorry folks, my bad, I did forget. I did get sick in between, but yeah, I did lose Roland Melanson in the waiver draft. I had too many good goaltenders at that point. So Daniel Berthiaume and Rolly Melanson in net for the Nordiques. Tommy Albeline, Stephen Finn, Randy Gregg, Jim Kite, Bruce Bell, Jeff Brown, Nicholas Lidstrom. Every time I see him on the Nordiques, oh. And Randy Velicek on the Gaetan Duchesne, Maikov, Walt Podobny, Paul Gillis, Joe Sakic, Peter Stastny, Alfie Turcotte, Dusan Pasek, Yarvi, Queenie, Anton Stastny, and Mark Vermette up front. Yeah, it's probably gonna look pretty cool. Alright, let's play here in Quebec against the Nordiques. Are we gonna be able to put a 10 spotter on the Nordiques like we did the Canadians? I don't know. Glenn Ely is gonna get a start finally in net for the Kings. Daniel Berthiaume is gonna be in net for Quebec. Go Kings! Come on! Oh, 8-2 victory. See, the Nordiques are a better defensive team than the Montreal Canadiens. They only allowed 8 goals against us. We're a pretty good road team. We're struggling at home, but we seem to be winning games on the road. I like that. That shows some character. Of course, I'd rather also win a lot of games at home, but yeah. So we outshot the Nordiques 44-26. Wayne Gretzky was the first star of the game with a goal and 3 assists. Luc Robitaille was the second star with 2 goals and an assist, and Randy Ledouceur was the third star with a goal and an assist. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? I think I did pretty good saving the Kings. Thank God for those Russian free agents. They came in right in time. I thought I would have quite a few half-star players playing this year. I was a little worried about that. Alright, so we scored the first 4 goals of the game. Ray Shepard from Wayne Gretzky and Rick Green. Mike Gartner from Wayne Gretzky and Rick Green. Luc Robitaille from Mike Gartner, and then Scott Arniel from Randy Ledouceur and Alexei Gusarov, 4-0, and then the Nordic scored, so it was 4-1 Kings after 1. Then in the second period, JT Dutch's and myself's favorite player that played for both the Kings and the Nordiques scored, and I named Stephen Finn scoring, making it 4-2 Kings, and then Randy Ladouceur scored from Mike Gartner and Wayne Gretzky, 5-2. The lead for the Kings. After 2, there was a fight between Ken Quinney and Randy Wood. And then in the third period, we scored 3 more goals. Luc Robitaille unassisted, then Wayne Gretzky from Luc Robitaille and Alexander Mogilny, and then Alexander Mogilny from Alexei Gusarov and Sylvain Couturier, 8-2 the final score. Yeah, the tenderness even had a goal for sure. Yeah, he wasn't very good with the Nordiques. Even if he was not nearly as bad with Quebec as he was in LA, it's not saying much. Oh, Andrew Castles got hurt. My youngster, who's hurting my rookies. He's day-to-day. We're good. Alright, so Wayne Van Dorp has been put on waivers again, and so did Don McSween. Mike Gartner extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and 2 assists in that game against the Nordiques. Wayne Gretzky, point streak of 20, a goal and 3 assists. And that was 8 straight games with an assist for him. Ooh, the coach might lose his job in Uniondale. Terry Simpson might not have a job anymore. And Brian Propp has achieved 500 assists in his career. 2 assists against the Islanders. Brian Propp is 31, 4-star player. I believe you are correct. I forgot about that. Yeah, you are 100% correct. Played 32 games and got 12 points. Alright, so we have a day off, and then we're going to be playing in Detroit against the Wings. We have 2 more games left in November here. Alright, so Detroit is 10-11-2 this season, so that's not too bad. Now, keep in mind, now I know GT Dutch knows that, but keep in mind for those of you that are maybe not as familiar with playoff formats back in the 90s, you totally can be in the playoffs with a losing record, especially only 1 game under 500. So when I say, oh, they have a losing record, they're 10-11-2, and that it's not too bad, that's kind of what I mean. And they are 6th in the conference. We did play Detroit earlier in the month, and we won 7-3. So let's see if we can... And that was at home. So we've been doing some damage on the road here. So let's see if we can keep it up. We're going back with Arthurs Earbay in net for the Kings. Tim Shovelday is going to be in net for the Red Wings. Oh, a little bit disappointing. Well, we won. We won 4-2, but we only scored 4 goals. What's that? Where's my juggernaut road team? Looks like I lost my music. Oh well. Yeah, everybody's gonna live. Pretty sure, at least. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, I'll have to start singing, right? Yeah, sure. Alright, so we outshot Detroit 44-27, so sorry, I got kind of distracted by losing my music, and I used to... That's not true. I was going to say I used to do those without music, but that's not true. I would listen to music and record, and yeah. Anyway, we outshot the Red Wings 44-27. Mike Gartner was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Joe Murphy was the second star with 2 assists. And the tenderness, Randy Ladouceur himself was the third star with 2 assists. Pretty good showing lately for Randy Ladouceur. Not exactly known for his offense in real life. So there was no scoring in the first, but there was a fight between Sean Burr and Alexei Gusarov. No, that's it. The other 2 free agents I signed are not Russian, Robert Lang and Zvela. They're also not playing, they're not developed enough. So those are the 5 guys that I signed to kind of make up for all the losses I've had. And to make up for players not exactly developing and stuff. Alright, so no scoring in the first, then in the second, the Red Wings scored. It was 1-0 Detroit, then we scored 3 goals. I'm gonna need some water here. Well, back then it was Czechoslovakia period, right? I think so. I think they were kind of from the same place. Mike Ridley scored from Ray Shepard and Gary Galley, then Mike Gartner from Randy Ladouceur and Luc Robitaille, and then Mike Gartner scored his 15th on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Ray Shepard. 3-1 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, the Red Wings scored, came to within 1, and then Luc Robitaille from Mike Gartner and Randy Ladouceur. 4-2 Kings victory. Mike Gartner extends his goal streak to 6 games with 2 goals and an assist, as we saw. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 21 games with 1 assist. That was 9 straight with an assist for him as well. Steve Yzerman in that same game extended his assist streak to 8 games. He had an assist. Dean Kennedy back from suspension in Pittsburgh, and Gordonine is starting to feel better. Can't have my 1-star defenseman out of the lineup for too long, as sad as it is, because then I have to put a half-star player in. Although, yet again, the star rating is not everything. Make sure you take the time to go and check the individual ratings for players. Are you saying the same thing, or is it just in my save that because I did notice that, but I was like, maybe it's because of how I surrounded him and everything. Maybe he's just scoring more. I did get Mike Gartner to fill the net on Gretzky assists and everything, but Gretzky just fills the net himself. Theo Fleury extends his point streak to 12 games with a goal and an assist against the Jets. Gordonine almost back. And we have 1 game left here in November. We are going to be in St. Louis to play against the Blues. Blues are 7-15-2. That's good for 9th in the conference, in front of only the poor Maple Leafs. Oh, the Vancouver Canucks are not dead last anymore for the first time in a very long time. Okay, so it's not just me that sees Gretzky, with 75 goals a season and stuff like that. All right. Well, we're in St. Louis. We did play them, the Blues, and we lost 5-3 at home. So now we're gonna try to avenge ourselves with a win on the road here. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference. It should, I guess. Or all it's going to do is that he's still going to score a bunch of goals, but his shooting percentage is going to be through the roof because he's going to score on almost every single shot he's going to take. Artus Airbay is going to be in net for us. Greg Millen is going to be in net for the Blues. Go Kings! Let's end the month on with a victory. Oh yeah, 6-1. We are a road team. I don't know. It's it's complete speculation. I'm just I do not know that for a fact. In fact, if you try it, let me know. I'm kind of curious to see. Like Gretzky would be the perfect player to like make a test with. Because, if you try to make the test with a guy that scores 14 goals a season, you're not really going to see a big enough difference. Yes, I did. I lost at the start of the stream. Then I started to tie, and then I started to win. So it was like we started really low, then we got a couple ties, and then it was like, hey, let's win some games. There you go. Yeah, maybe you're my good luck charm. Maybe you need to show up more. I think that's what it means. We were outshot despite our 6-1 victory against the Blues. We were outshot 38-37 in that one. Mike Gartner, yet again, first star with a goal and an assist. Artus Irbe was really good with 37 saves and second star. And Wayne Gretzky was the third star with a goal and an assist. We scored 4 unanswered goals in the first period. Alexei Gusarov opened up the scoring from Randy Ladouceur and Wayne Gretzky. Then Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Gary Galley and Mike Gartner. Mike Ridley scored on the power play from Rick Green and Frank Bro, playing a rare game. Mike Gartner scored from Gerald Deduck and Luc Robitaille. 4-0 Kings after 1. Nobody scored in the second period. Then in the third, the Blues scored, and then Scott Arneal made it 5-1 from Dan Gratton and Alexander Mogilny. And then finally, Mogilny scored from Wayne McBean, getting his first point, and Randy Wood. And that was a 6-1 win. That looks pretty good. It is... like I said, I think it's in the previous, or it was the one before that, like I really wasn't sure if they would let me play the Russian guys, because I think that technically they're all playing 1 year prior to them entering the league, and I wasn't sure that the game was going to let me do that. I was like, at least I'm going to have their rights, and, I'll just suffer for a season, but I'm able to play them, so I am playing them. I'm not gonna sit Mogilny if I have him under contract. Wayne Gretzky has tallied 1,250 assists in his career. Gretzky is 29 and he's a 5-star player. Not too bad considering that he was that add-on to that trade that brought Marty McSorley to the Kings. Mike Gartner extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal and an assist in that same game. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 22. That was a goal and an assist as well. 10 straight games with an assist for Wayne. Jeremy Roenick extends his goal streak to 7 games. He had a goal and an assist against the Detroit Red Wings. Steve Yzerman's assist streak ended at 8 games. He was held scoreless in that same game against Chicago. And I don't care about my scouting. You mean in real life or in my save? Because Jagger was drafted. And I drafted a bunch of Russians that are never going to make the team. And I only drafted them because their names started with A-R or G. My draft was terrible this year. My first draft went pretty well, but my last draft, yeah, we didn't get a superstar in there. All right, Carrie Wilson has been put on waivers by the Habs. He is a 2-star player. I cannot get him. Memorable night for Sean Chambers with Minnesota. He had 4 assists against the Jets. The players that sold the most jerseys for the Kings are Wayne Gretzky, Mike Gartner, Luc Robitaille, Glenn Ely, and Gary Galley. Wow, some Glenn Ely fans must be disappointed. They're buying jerseys of a guy that plays 1 game a month. I know. That's okay. It's gonna come. The love for the brown pads is gonna come eventually. Gordonine bordering on returning. That's good. Oh, Gretzky scored the 5th more jerseys in the league. Gary Sutter is first. Pelé, really? His second, Patrick Roy, I can understand. Steve Eiserman, I can also understand. Gary Suter, I can also understand. Pele Klun, not sure that he would outsell Gretzky in terms of jerseys, but what do I know? What will Montreal do with Carrie Wilson? He's been put on waivers and also the trading block. Players of the month were Wayne Gretzky and Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy of allowing 10 goals in one game against Wayne Gretzky and the Kings' fame was the goaltender of the month. I guess one bad game a month does not make a career or something. Yeah, I don't get the old jersey thing, selling thing. Since you've caught up, you know that my first season, Brian Hayward was top 5 every month. I'm like, really? Brian Hayward? Alright, so we have Castles and Gordonin that are hurt. That's not the end of the world. They are day to day. We are still third in the conference, despite having a really good month. We're 8 points behind the Flames. They are almost unbeatable, although we did beat them 7-3 on the road, too. We have one game on hand, so we're going to need to continue winning like that if we want to ever catch up with them. It's nice to see the North Stars more towards the top than the bottom of the standings as well. That's kind of new. Let's take a look in the other conference. Yeah, the Flames are 25-1. I know. I mean, look at that. They don't have a weak position. I mean, sure, they have Patterson. That's not that great, but they still have they have a lot of good players. Well, they don't have Jaromir Jagr. Jagr went to the Canucks. It's a little bit harder. Mario Lemieux is not playing well in my save. I brought that up before you joined the stream. But Mario Lemieux has not been playing well in my stream. He has 17 points in 18 games in 1990. That's not good enough. Oh, that year he only played 26 games, but he had 45 points. After scoring 123 in 59 games the season before. And he totally didn't do that in my save. Yeah, I started in 88, 89? Yeah. He didn't even break 100 points. He didn't play a full season either, but yeah. Mario has not been Mario in my universe. Alright, let's go back here. Go. Yeah, so Pittsburgh might miss the playoff. Yeah, it's tough for Pittsburgh. The Islanders have dropped last year. They were the best or one of the best teams in my universe, and they've really dropped this year as well. So Flyers are also pretty good. So are the Rangers. The Nordiques are right there. Come on, they can't catch up to the Devils. Devils schmevels. Alright, and of course on our side it's the Leafs and the Blues. So for once the Canucks are a little bit more competitive. So that's good. Alright, let's take a look at some stats. Not where I wanted to go first. Alright, so Wayne Gretzky has 45 points in 25 games. That is pretty good. Then Gardner 38 and 25. Gardner has really picked it up this month. That's good because he was hurt a lot last season. Well, not a lot. He was hurt for a long time last season, so he didn't really get to be an impact player. Luke Robitaille, 33 and 25. Gary Galley is almost a point per game as a defenseman. That's pretty good, 24 and 25. I'm a little bit disappointed with Ray Shepard. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more out of him. Am I thinking out of what he can do or something? Yeah, that's... We're a little bit before he actually broke out, so... That could be the problem. Yeah, that top line is pretty scary. I was pretty happy when I was able to add Mike Gardner. I felt that it was exactly the type of player that I wanted to play on that line. A guy that can score goals, never won a cup, so I kind of wanted to give that to him. Hopefully I can. Oh dear God, Gerald the Duck is already at 127 penalty minutes in 25 games. Oh boy, that's more than 5 penalty minutes a game. Alright, so the best goal scorer is not Wayne Gretzky anymore. It is Jeremy Roenick, 25 goals. Dave Gagne second with 21. Pat LaFontaine. I feel like the centers are scoring too many goals, man. Yeah, I'm not the head coach. I decided to give up that duty for this particular playthrough. Is it just me or the centers score too many goals? Like, look at my top 5 goal scorers in my universe. They're all centers. I don't know how I feel about that. Alright, the best passers are Brian Leach and Adam Oates, 29 assists each. The best scorer is Jeremy Roenick, overtook Wayne Gretzky here, so I didn't make a mention that Gretzky was playing well, but he wasn't having a whole lot of like mind-blowing games, and now he's been passed by Jeremy Roenick. I know, but it's just, you know, guys like Cicerelli and, even Mike Gardner and Brettel, I feel that they probably should maybe have more goals than some of the other centers that we see there. Yeah, Craig Janney should have like 0 goals, maybe 1 in an empty net. I'm just kidding. Craig Janney was a decent player, but he was definitely more of a playmaker. But anyway, maybe I'm just trying to nitpick here. All right, so Roenick, 53 points. He's first, Gretzky second with 45. That's interesting. That's the first time that Gretzky is not first for the points. Cicerelli, 127 shots, and the same for LaFontaine and Sylvain Turgeon. Gretzky is plus 25. That's good. Now, let's see my Arthur CRB. Where is he? Arthur CRB is 4th with a 916 save percentage. That's pretty great. He's also tied first for the wins. No, Mike Modano landed with the Canucks. So the Canucks have Mike Modano and Jaromir Jagr, so that can maybe create a different duo like you had Mario and Jaromir Jagr in real life. So now maybe it's going to be Modano and Jagr and see what they can do together. Yep. That should, but they're still struggling. They don't have a whole lot in not Calgary, in Vancouver past that. So yeah, like their D is terrible. But yeah, Jagger, Mike Modano. They still have Trevor Linden. Brian Bradley's not a bad player. Um, yeah, yeah, that D is. They have Lynch. I was really hoping I could draft Lynch in that draft. Was really hoping I could because my D's really bad, but he's not developed yet. He's only a half-star player. All right, I'm gonna need to stop here. I'm about to need to go make dinner. The Sens are playing in an hour and a half in Florida against the Panthers. Yeah, I know, but I guess Vancouver is just struggling so bad that they have to use him. All right, man, it was nice to see you on my stream again. Sorry I can't be here much longer. Gotta cook and then work some OT while I'm watching the game. But yeah, you're always welcome here. You know that. So yeah, I'll see you around, buddy. And of course, everybody else as well. Thank you for tuning in. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. Thank you.